Hello, welcome to Exposed Urban TV. This is episode 6. Yes, episode 6. And I am here with Nick Parker from, he's a writer for Ryan Smashing Life, music writer. We're going to be talking about that blog. Blog or website?
We try and go with website now, but it is technically a blog, yeah.
Okay, that's all right.
It started as a blog. So.
It's an amazing website, numbers soaring through the roof. And we're going to be talking to Nick here about some of the stuff he's writing about and a lot about the UK music scene and it coming over to Boston and into some of the clubs nearby. So that'll be great. Follow us on Twitter. Exposed Urban is our handle, and we'd love to follow you back. So let us know you're out there and you're watching. And if you have any questions, podcast@exposedurban.tv, and we'll get back to you. All right. So how you doing?
Doing well. Good well. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's so great to have you. Mark and I saw your name mentioned in a local newspaper. You had won some award for...
Yeah, we were really lucky. We won the Boston Music Award for Best Blog this year. Yeah.
So that was Ryan Smashing Life?
Yeah, Ryan Smashing Life, yeah. And it was the first time they'd actually had that category, so we kind of feel like we got away with the inaugural one, which is great. Yeah. So really exciting. It was at the Liberty Hotel. They had a big party for it. It was a great night.
That's a cool place.
Yeah.
Was it in one of the bars there? Or?
No, actually we took over pretty much the whole building.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There were a couple of thousand people there, and they did it in the big atrium area. It was fantastic. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. So talk to us about Ryan Smashing Life. What is that all about?
Well, basically, my friend Ryan Spalding started it about 4 years ago, almost exactly, because we just had our 4-year anniversary on Friday, and it was basically just a sort of traditional blogspot account, and he's sort of grown it from there and networked with a lot of people and got to know a lot of local bands, and it's basically there to promote local music and try and support the Boston scene. And also now it's become a little broader. We talk about festivals, and I do a lot of UK music. Obviously, as you can hear, I'm not from around here, so that's. Where
are you from? Tell
I'm from Manchester in England. Yeah, so
I hear that's not really where all the great bands come from. London is where all the great bands come from.
That's really hurtful. No, no. It's Manchester is a great place for music. Actually, it's been a really big city for music.
We had this conversation before we went on air, so
absolutely.
I'm just pulling his chain.
So yeah, no, it's a big centre for music in Europe, I would say, Manchester. Yeah. But Boston's doing great too, so that's what I want to support.
Yeah. So you're writing about the UK music scene in how it comes over to Boston, or?
Yeah, I mean, I do some local artists as well, but I do an awful lot of stuff about English bands, Welsh bands, Scottish bands, etc. And usually when they're doing promos for new material, or if they're coming over and touring here. And it's really lucky for me because a lot of the bands that I would see in England, who are usually kind of playing huge venues and sort of 2,000 people venues, when they come to Boston, they're a lot less popular, a lot less well known. I get to see them in front of small venues and really get that intimate.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot of
great.
Your articles talk about like the Middle East or. What are some of the other places that you see these?
The Bears and Great Scots. And,
so small,
Paradise,
intimate venues.
Yeah, the smallish venues.
500 people, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, Great Scots is probably just a couple of hundred, I would say, yeah. So, and then there's a bit bigger than that, yeah. And we do some shows at House of Blues and promote those as well sometimes, but that stuff is, so much bigger, they don't need the promotion as much, so, yeah.
Sorry about the sirens. This is Exposed Urban. That's what it's all about. So talk to us about some of the bands that you've been following and that have been coming. I'm rocking in my chair. These chairs are dangerous. We'll go flying back into my brick wall here. Well, anyway, talk to us about some of the bands. I had read about Joe Gideon and the Shark.
Yeah, that was one that a good friend of mine in England actually put me onto, and I'm not always totally on the ball with this stuff. The album actually came out last year, or late 2008, so the year before last, and I only caught up with it maybe 4 or 5 months ago, so I'm not kind of completely up to speed with this, but that was probably the best thing I heard last year. It was a great album. This band from London, two-piece band, just a drummer who does sort of backing vocals, and then a guy who doesn't even sing, really, just talks over the songs, does sort of stories over the songs. And that's one of the best things I heard. Yeah, I absolutely loved it. So.
Yeah, I saw a few things on YouTube. They have some music videos that they've put out.
Right. Yeah. They are signed and they're doing well in London, but I don't think they're really going to be huge over here.
Yeah.
Soon, it's kind of something we want to help them to promote.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's a very interesting sense of humor I found.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in the music videos, I find him to be very funny, even though he's talking about some pretty dark topics.
Yeah, it's kind of sinister and yet also humorous, which is why I think it's fascinating. It's kind of a strange combination and hard to put together, I think, those two things.
We'll throw a little clip into the video so you guys can hear what we're talking about.
Great, yeah, promote them, absolutely.
What else? What other bands should we be watching?
The biggest release that's coming out, well, no, not the biggest band, but a really exciting release is The Joy Formidable, who are a band from Wales who came and played at Great Scots maybe 2 months ago. And they've got their first full-length album coming out. It just came out in England, it's coming out here in about 3 or 4 weeks. And they are an excellent band, 3-piece, kind of a massive sound, a kind of massive wall of sound, kind of distortion, but then very controlled. So it's still sort of pop music in a way. It's still kind of digestible music, but it's also
pop music.
There you go.
I'm very vanilla. It's horrible. People make fun of me, but
well, yeah, this is the kind of stuff that you'll find really it's easy to digest, and it's also got a lot of depth to it. So yeah, this is one of the best things coming out. And then probably the biggest release for me of an established artist is PJ Harvey's new album is coming out in a couple of months, and that's going to be huge. He's written an album. Apparently, it's all about England. Like it's about like the whole nation of England, which is for me a kind of really interesting idea to do that, to try and pull that off. And very very difficult as well. So yeah.
Well,
so that should be an exciting one coming out in, I think, mid-March.
So it's great that you get to enjoy the music that you used to enjoy back home here in such an interesting way.
Yeah, we're really lucky. Yeah.
Are there any venues like that in other areas of Massachusetts, or is it mostly happening in Boston or Cambridge?
I'm not that familiar with the venues out of the city because I just spend a lot of time here, and but no, there's certainly lots of places I hear about in up in Maine and stuff, But I think the main places I go to obviously is Great Scots quite a bit, and then TT's, which is a great place. And as I mentioned, we just had our big party there on Friday night, so that was great. And then Middle East is also doing really well still. So yeah, that's probably the three main ones I go to. Since a couple of them they're under a lot of pressure, of course, from the big venues. So
yeah,
a couple of them have closed down lately, unfortunately. But yeah.
Would the big venues being Paradise
Paradise, House of Blues, the Live Nation stuff. Yeah, is putting a lot of pressure on, of course. And there needs to be a place for those because there's some big bands like the National and stuff come through, and they need to have a venue that can fit them. Yeah. But all the same, it's kind of hard for the small places trying to keep a niche in the market.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. So talk to me about your writing. What do you love it? What do you love about writing about music?
I think what I love about it is the sense I get, which I think works with blogging, that I can do something really personal. That I can write something about my own connection to the music rather than just talking about why this song is excellent in all these kind of supposedly objective ways.
Right.
So I'd rather just kind of say, for me it works or it doesn't work in this way or that way, and that's kind of what's important. So yeah, I think for me that's kind of where the whole blogging kind of market works really well. It kind of really allows very quick responses and very personal responses to new music.
Do you guys use social media at all? Do you use Twitter or Facebook to promote your content?
Yeah, Ryan uses the Facebook and Twitter a lot. Yeah, so.
Do you know what the Twitter handle is?
It's probably. I think it's RSL Blog. I think RSL Blog because the website is www.rslblog.com.
Okay.
So there's my little plug.
So it is a blog.
So yeah, it is a blog. Yeah, it remains a blog, but it's a music and entertainment website. I think it says on the top there. So yeah, but it is still a blog.
That's great. So, anything else that we should be letting our viewers know about the UK music scene?
Well, the scene is. I feel disconnected from the scene to some extent. I've been over here 10 years now, so I try and stay connected, but it's difficult. But the scene is still great at finding the sort of media there are great at finding new bands because it's small enough, unlike in this country, that you can still keep a kind of sense of what's going on,
Yeah.
And they're even very good at detecting. Good music from here. There's a lot of bands all the way back to the Strokes were kind of broken in England before they came back here, and you could all go back all the way to Hendrix. The people who've kind of become big in England first. So actually, the English scene is a great way to plug into new music to look at NME and stuff like that.
Something about England, the UK. It's the same thing with Broadway.
Okay.
A lot of shows will happen there and then if they're successful, they'll come over to New York.
Yeah,
So it sounds like a similar model. It must be something in the air over there.
Absolutely, yeah. And yeah, the Manchester scene is doing really well, I think. But again, I'm unfortunately not able to get back that often, so I don't know as well as I should, really. You know, I rely on my old friends to tell me about.
Well, we'll take donations to get Nick back to Manchester.
Much appreciated. Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll put a little link up on the blog. We'll get Nick to Manchester.
Excellent, excellent.
All right. Well, it was so great to have you here. Thanks a lot for stopping by.
Yeah,
it was very interesting stuff.
Yeah,
we'll throw some of the links to the content up online, and so you can start to hear some of this stuff and see some of the videos that Nick's been talking about today.
Excellent.
And we'll get out to those clubs and see some of these bands in person.
Support the local music scene. Absolutely. Yeah, it's great.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Remember, Exposed Urban on Twitter, and we'll see you next week.